We'll get stuck into our first panellist right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to introduce Kirsty Carvey, affectionately known as the Donut Lady. Kirsty is born and raised in Emerald and has been a dynamic force in the food industry since the age of 16, where she joined Eagle Boys Pizza. In 2020, she took the leap and opened her own pizza shop, Pizza Guardians, alongside her mentor and business partner, Tom Potter. Now in 2022, Kirsty transformed her business into Galactic Donuts, bringing a fresh and innovative approach to the sweet treat scene in Rockhampton. Now passionate about supporting local sporting groups and charities, she continues to be one of the largest sponsors of Player Match of the Day Awards, giving away almost $100,000 in free donuts each year. One of her proudest achievements is her commitment to Dolly's Dream, with Galactic Donuts raising more than $22,500 in just 3 years since participating in the Do It for Dolly campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our first panellist, Kirsty Carvey. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks. Yeah, let's start with that. I'm not akin to public speaking, so I do apologise if I R and my way through this, but thank you very much. This would probably be my first public speaking event I've ever done in CQ, so Tom usually takes the lead role on this because he's very good at it. As Brad said, yeah, as you know, we transformed Pizza Guardians into Galactic back in 2022. Just to give you a couple of numbers, we decided to move from pizza to donuts. One reason being COVID really hurt that particular industry quite strongly when it came to the price of cheese, the price of meats, freight, fuel, just like everybody else. But in order for us to make a buck, we had to start charging about $30 a pizza, and it just wasn't going to happen with what we wanted to do. So Tom came to me and said, right, Kirst, we've got one or two choices. We close doors or we change to donuts. And I went, well, that's a left field idea. Where do we get donuts from? He said, I've just opened a Galactic up in Townsville. Went nuts. And I went, oh, okay. What do you think Rocky will do? I said, go bigger nuts. I said, I think it'll go really well. So I had a brief meeting with my husband and said, what do you reckon? And he said, let's give it a go. We moved from Brisbane in 2020 at the height of COVID to open Pizza Guardians. I was working my let's go with butt off for quite a number of years with the pizza shop, and we thought, no, we came here to make some coin, so let's do that. So we shut the shop, and 6 days later we opened up as Galactic Donuts. 6 days. The local tradies were amazing. We couldn't have asked for a better response. So what happened? We opened up on the 17th of August. By the 24th of August, I was extremely exhausted. We had gone through a ton of flour inside 7 days. We had moved about 20,000 donuts in 6 days. We had been able to reduce our hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that we carried through Pizza Guardians, and we actually wiped that out and made a profit within 12 months of starting Galactic Donuts. So to say that it was a success story, it's probably a little bit of an understatement. What it did give me, it gave me a lot of confidence to know that this was a product and this was a brand that I think we could build in Rockhampton and we could do really, really well at. So I started thinking about where I could actually make a difference. What could I do? What can I do differently, and how can I do it? I've now got a product that allowed me to get into everything. Who doesn't love a donut? A donut makes a kid smile. A donut turns a frown turns a frown upside down and makes it into a smile. It just puts a smile on everyone's face. Took 4RO, love it when I come to visit. Stuart's Waistline doesn't. So we started reaching out to all of the sporting clubs. And as Brad mentioned in my bio, I don't think that there's a sport that I haven't sponsored. From netball to soccer to dance to schools to rugby union to league to touch footy to softball, baseball, where are we now, and horse riding as well. So there's not a sport that can't use our Player of the Match awards. One of the biggest, awesome, best parts of my job is on Saturday mornings by 9 o'clock, I start having all the little mini-roos come in, and they're holding their donut vouchers, and they walk up and I go, how did you get that, buddy? They go, I just did really well. So it's really great to hear those kinds of stories come back. And yeah, I do. I give out close to $100,000 in free donuts, but what does that give me? It gives me a sense of purpose in the community. It shows the sporting clubs that local businesses are behind them. And of course, usually mum and dad need to have a donut too. So when they get free donuts, they purchase a donut. So it's a win-win. So we were travelling really, really well. In October of 24, my manager left. She had been with me since Pizza Guardians, and that was a big hard fall for me because that meant my right-hand man was disappearing. So that was an adjustment. Then came November, and November we saw probably one of the biggest drops I think I've seen, and we went to about 60% down year on year, and that hurt. That was what I was trading less than what we were doing with Pizza Guardians. And to say that the morale in the shop dropped is an understatement. My mood dropped, I went real negative, and it was a really hard time, and it took us 6 months to build that back up. And this is why I'm with Tom Potter, and this is why I have a mentor, and this is why I speak to him on a weekly and sometimes daily basis to make sure that our mission is still the same. Our mission is we do the basics right. Our mission is we focus on our food costs, we focus on our staff, we focus on productivity. Where else can we make a difference, Kirst? What's different? Can we get into more markets? Can we get our wholesale run happening? That part, I guess, on the building resilience, building resilience, is that what I'm doing? It definitely was a trying time because I went, oh my God, people have fallen out of love with Galactic. Like, what have I done? Everybody has that moment where you start to go, oh my God, is my coffee terrible? Is my donut oh my God, worse yet, is my donut terrible? What's happened? What's changed? And you start scrutinising everything, and every little thing you do, you go back in your head and you start questioning, was that the right decision? Was that the right decision? So everything starts to get affected. Home life, you start to become snappy. All these other things start to happen at the same time. And again, it was that conversation with Tom to go, Kirsty, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything right, mate. You just need to stay the course. It's coming back. It's not just you. And I think that was where attending a lot of to bring the chamber into it, getting involved in the chamber helped me reconnect with a lot of other businesses to know that I wasn't alone in this and that everybody was feeling the same effects. Yes, okay, I might have been a lot more down than what I expected, but at the end of the day, everybody was feeling that same dip in sales. Everybody was feeling the same frustration with staffing. Everyone was feeling the same frustration with food costs going up and all of this sort of thing. And where had the customers gone? The realisation was I'm a luxury. I get it. Donuts aren't for everyone either. They're not something that you need. Some people do need a daily fix. It's not like coffee where you're coming in every single morning to get a donut. And I guess I changed my train of thought. I went, what else can I do? So we entered the world of wholesale. I'm now in the food works across town. We've partnered up with Cocoa Brew Express, Rockhampton and Yeppoon. We're out at the CQ University, and I've just started to make waves with Ampol here in town to see if we can beat the rush of Krispy Kremes that's coming to town. That's another thing that will start to build resilience with me is when they come to town, because Rockhampton do have an insatiable appetite for those damn things. But that's okay, because I have something different. You'll all remember when Banjo's opened. That was another thing that not just myself, but, the other bakeries in town, the other coffee shops in town, everybody felt it when they opened. And I don't think I realised just how much of an effect they had on me. Because I didn't rate what they were selling, but that didn't matter. The fact is they're convenience. They've got a drive-through. They're selling a lot more than what I'm selling. So I had to go through that factor as well. So there was a lot of argy-bargy with Tom and talking about what we needed to do and this, that. But again, it came back to the basics. Stay strong. Get back onto your marketing plan. Make sure you're going out and you're visiting everybody. And suffice to say, sales have turned around. We are now 35 to 40% up at this time since November. So it does get better. It's not always the inspirational part, I guess, but going back to your core of why you do what you do and you know that you do it well. So the other thing I started to do was open up on custom donuts. I'm not a cake baker. I'm not a decorator or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but can I colour a donut? Can I add a topper? Can I throw on some sprinkles and make it look pretty? Damn straight I can. So we now cater for baby showers. We now cater for weddings. We now cater for anybody. Like Jeff's just come to me and said, I want to do some donuts for work. No worries, send me your logo, we'll chuck it on a donut. So there are so many things that we've found that we can do. We don't just have to be streamlined in a retail shop. There's so many other things that we can do. And I think that's where the notability is starting to come through now, as we're getting a lot more custom orders and things like that. So that's helped to keep us relevant. The other side, I guess, for me was I wanted to support more local fundraising opportunities. So if you didn't know, we support Dolly's Dream, and we have done since the inception, since we opened Galactic. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of the fact that we've been able to raise just over $22,500 for that charity. So I thought, okay, Dolly's Dream is a national charity, but what can I do locally? I met Anne-Marie Black from TBM and Be Kind. And to say that woman touches my heart is an understatement. And I think if anybody's met her, the feeling's mutual. She has registered for her charity, or she is now a charity. So we will be donning the fundraising hat again, and we will be doing a fundraising event for her on the 8th of August, where the proceeds of us, again, especially made Taylor and Murphy Donut, will be given to the charity. And then later in the year, we're focusing it on the men. We're going to be for International Men's Day, and we'll be donating the charities to Walk and Talk. So there are a lot of good things that happen in this town, and I love being a part of it. It's what drives me, it's what keeps me going, and I love the fact that the community support me in whatever I seem to be doing. So I guess that's my inspiration, is I know how much I can do when I have a small business and what I can do to put a smile on someone's face. And if it's as simple as turning their day from a crappy day to a good day, then I've had a win in my book. And that just fills my cup more. I keep going in at 3 a.m. every morning to make donuts. We make them fresh every day, if you weren't aware. So, 3 a.m. is my wake-up call, and we get in there. If I'm there till 3 p.m, if I'm there till 7 p.m, it doesn't matter, because my customers walked away happy. I don't know what else to tell you. That's pretty much us. So thank you very much for listening. I hope, I don't know if I've sparked any inspiration there, but I do appreciate your listening ears today. Thanks.